Saab. What do you make, buddy?
We're a Swedish company forged in the fires, well, the pretty chill fires, of neutrality. Peace and quiet gave us a thought. What if it wasn't? So we built freaking fighter jets.
I thought you made cool cars with the ignition key in the center. What the hell is this?
Did you ever wonder what Saab stands for?
No, I just thought it was a cool Swedish word.
It stands for Svenska Aeroplane Aktiebolaget, which translates to Swedish Airplane Corporation. We were a car company that got into planes. We were a military aircraft company that got into cars. We were founded in 1937, specifically to build warplanes to defend Sweden from a potential German or Soviet invasion.
Yeah, but then Sweden didn't fight back, like, at all, and then provided Germany 85% of their high-quality iron and 40 to 60% of all total iron throughout the war. You like to pretend that you were neutral, but you were part of the three S's that lean towards the Axis. Sweden, Switzerland, and Spain.
Okay, yeah, that doesn't look good, but at least we're not solely on to World War II German loot and refusing to return it to the families they stole it from.
Switzerland.
But after the war, we figured, well, we have all these unemployed aeronautical engineers, so let's give them something to do. So we started making cars.
Wait, so that's why your cars were so cool?
Yeah, we answered the question, what if a fighter jet was a car? We pioneered crumple zones, side impact protection, and seatbelt warnings long before they were cool or required. We believed a car should protect its occupants like a fortress. A very stylish, aerodynamic fortress.
Wait, so the entire car division was just a post-war hobby to keep the fighter jet engineers from getting bored?
Yeah, you can say that. That's why our first car, the Saab 92, looks like an airplane wing on wheels. Our engineers really only knew how to do one thing. It had a drag coefficient of 0.3, which was crazy for 1949. It was also painted in the same dark green surplus paint we were using for our planes, because, you know, we had it, like, why not? We then designed a wraparound cockpit-style windshield for unparalleled visibility. Again, they really only knew one thing. Then the hatchbacks for practicality, the solid steel safety cage. We were obsessed with protecting the driver.
Wow, they really did only know one thing. They were like the missionary position of designers. It's crazy to think that the guy who designed my uncle's car might have also designed bombers in World War II.
Not just bombers. Our first plane was a licensed dive bomber. But our true masterpiece was the Saab 29, nicknamed the Flygande Tunen.
What does that mean?
The Flying Barrel.
You called your premier fighter jet the Flying Barrel.
It was a term of endearment. I mean, look how chubby and cute it is. It was also incredibly fast and agile. It was one of the best fighters in the world at the time. It was kind of a threat to our potential enemies, like, hey, we might beat your ass adorably.
Okay, got it. So what came after the Flying Barrel?
Oh, this is where it gets really good. After the Barrel came the Lancet, a great attack aircraft. But then in 1955, we unveiled our Saab 35 Draken, the Dragon.
Okay, you're improving. Dragon, definitely better than Barrel.
It was one of the first supersonic aircraft in Western Europe. It had this insane double delta wing design that made it look like a paper airplane folded by a vengeful god. It was designed to take off from reinforced public roads, land, rearm, and then be back in the air in under 10 minutes. The whole Swedish air defense strategy was based around using the entire country as a giant dispersed airfield.
Wait, so Sweden liked your plane so much, they decided to turn all their highways into airfields in an emergency.
Exactly, and the same pragmatic thinking that led us to put the ignition key in the center console of our cars.
Okay, how are those two things even remotely related?
It was all about safety in a crash. Our aeronautical engineers knew from crash data that in a collision, a driver's right knee often smashes into the key fob, causing pretty horrific injuries. So we moved it to the safest place, between the seats. The Draken protecting the country and the car protecting your kneecaps. It was seamless design philosophy.
Okay, I just can't believe that you crossed over plane and car crashes to figure out where to put the key. What came after the Dragon?
It was the Saab 37 Vegan, the Thunderbolt.
I didn't know you guys did Marvel movies.
No, that's plural. We're singular. It was a multi-role aircraft that could do everything.
After that description, I don't think you're singular.
Fuck, guess multi-role shouldn't be singular. Anyway, it could do interception, attack, and reconnaissance. It was the first plane to have both a digital central computer and a heads-up display as standard. And it had a thrust reverser, which meant it could land on those same tiny road runways, stop on a dime, and then literally back into a hiding space in the woods. It was a fighter jet that could parallel park.
A parallel parking fighter jet. That is the most Swedish thing I've ever heard.
We do love efficiency, but speaking of things that weren't efficient, our poor, sweet car brand of the 90s.
What happened?
General Motors happened.
Oh, no.
They bought a 50% stake in us in 1990 and then the rest in 2000. It was like watching John Lennon marry Yoko Ono. Only one of them had talent. The other was way too confident in themselves that they also had talent.
I am so sorry you got Yoko'd.
Yeah, they didn't get us. They saw all our weird stuff not as strengths, but as expensive things that needed to be streamlined.
What'd they do?
They started forcing us to share parts with other GM cars. They made our beautiful Swedish-engineered Saab 93 start sharing a platform with the Chevy Malibu and Pontiac G6. They called it platform sharing. We called it downgrading.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
It got worse. They made us get rid of the hatchback in the 900, one of the most iconic features. They don't understand that a Saab owner needed to be able to get a case of lingonberry sauce and 3 flat-pack bookshelves in the back of their car at a moment's notice. It's a lifestyle.
So they just squeezed what made you out of the company?
Pretty much. They just couldn't understand why we'd over-engineer everything. For our rollover test, we used to drop our cars on the roof from a crane. For our moose test, we simulated a 1,500-pound Swedish moose at high speed to make sure our windshield pillars wouldn't collapse. But GM was like, look, if they die, they die.
A moose crash test dummy? That's awesome! So while GM was reinventing failure and destroying your cars, what was the plane division up to?
Oh, we were just building one of the most advanced and cost-effective multi-role fighter jets in the world, the JAS-39 Griffin. The Griffin.
Barrel Dragon Thunderbolt Griffin. It's just a dice roll for naming conventions, isn't it?
Oh, the name didn't matter, because it was awesome. It's a lightweight single-engine beast that can outmaneuver planes twice its size and cost. It can operate from those same tiny road bases, be maintained by a handful of conscripts with basic training, and has some of the most sophisticated electronic warfare systems ever created. It's the ultimate underdog fighter.
Wait, so while your car division was being forced to share with Pontiac, you were building super advanced fighter jets?
Yeah, it was a weird time to work at Saab. You probably either loved your job or hated it. The car company was dying a slow death of 1,000 cuts to these corporate compromises, while the defense company was thriving by staying true to our core ideas. And boy, did we get good at blowing our enemies out of the sky.
Yeah, you what?
Oh, we make missiles. Anti-ship missiles, air-to-air missiles, air-to-ground missiles, air defense missiles. Really, we make missiles that can start from any direction and go in any direction.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, then Boeing couldn't figure out how to make one of their bombs fly. So we made their bombs fly.
Okay, you are certainly laser focused on things that fly.
Oh, we also make submarines, like the Gauntlet-class submarine, which is so stealthy it apparently shows up on sonar like a little fishy. It's 60 meters long.
What? How?
It is all designed vibration dampening, sonar-resistant coatings, magnetic signature reduction, and radar absorption material all help, but I'll never tell it all.
You cheeky minx.
Yeah, I was able to sink a U.S. aircraft carrier in an exercise because we are just that stealthy, but still not stealthy enough for us, so we're developing an upgrade, the A-26.
How can you make this better? What's it gonna do? Show up on a sonar the size of a playing card?
No, that's far too big.
Okay, what happened to the cars?
GM went bankrupt in 2009 and tried to sell us. We were bought by a small Dutch supercar company called Spyker, which was a valiant but doomed effort. Then we were bought by a Chinese-Japanese consortium called Devs, who wanted to turn it into an electric car brand, which also failed. The brand just sort of faded away. We don't feel so good, Mr. Stark.
That's so sad. Just a whole incredible legacy of engineering just gone.
Oh man, we just got back to our roots. We still make the Griffin fighter, advanced radar systems, sneaky submarines, and even shoulder-fired anti-tank missiles. Because just like our cars, we care about the guy on the go.
I beg your pardon?
Shoulder-fired AT missiles for the guy on the go. We do the AT-4, Carl Gustav Adlaw. We're cooking up the XM919 right now, because, you really just can't hate tanks enough.
Oh my gosh.
We even made the RBS-70NG for the guy who likes shoulder-mounted missiles but hates planes.
Okay, wow. So will you ever get back into cars?
I mean, maybe we did design some crazy safety across the board. One was meant to survive a collision with a Volvo, the other a collision with a surface-to-air missile. But how would we get back and sell it America?
Yeah, you add an N-law to every purchase, and I promise you, rural America will make you the most valuable company on planet Earth.